Hi guys, good morning, good evening. I hope you are able to hear me. So in the last session, we stopped in the middle of this exercise, how we can read the data from a folder inside a folder. Okay, so something like I have a data files, we know it, that is a root directory. Inside that I have an input directory. In the input directory, I have a folder 1. Inside folder 1, I have a department.txt. Folder 2 is having department.txt. Folder 3 is also having a department.txt. So I wanted to read the data from all these files, and my target is a database. I wanted to feed the data into the target database. Okay, so let's see how exactly we can read and keep the data in the target. Let me check is I'm having table or not in the target. Target is not available. I'm just going to create a table. I'll take a table script from here. I can create it, otherwise let's go here. New query. Create a table. Table name is department. I'm taking. And first column is department ID. Of type integer. Department name of type is varchar 30. And location is varchar again. So I'm just taking some characters here. Let's execute it. Now table is created. I wanted to feed the data into this table by taking data from those 3 files from the 3 different folders. So this is my target. Now let's go back to your data factory. Okay, so I set up the data source in the data files. You can see in my data files, I have an input directory. In the input directory, I have 3 folders as per a note. 3 folders input, having folder 1, folder 2, folder 3. So here I have a folder 1, folder 2, folder 3. Folder 1 is having 2 records, that is 10 and 20 is available. I'm just trying to give the same column names here in the file. If you have a different name, then we need to map the columns. I'll show you where you can map it. Let's save this. And in the folder 2, also I'm having a file. So here I'm having 2 records, 30 and 40 is available. Let's save this also. And folder 3 is having another file. Here is having 1 record. Let's save this and close this. Now I wanted to read the data from all these folders. So first you need to have a list of folders. First you need to have a list of folders. So in order to have the list of folders, we need to have a pipeline. Let's go to Data Factory. So I already created a Data Factory and I'm having link services. So we know already how we can get a link service for, how we can set up self-hosted integration runtime, because I'm using my on-prem SQL Server database I'm using. We know already how we can set up them. And link services also I'm having here. You can see I created the link services. Now I'm just going to create a pipeline with a name called parent pipeline. PL_parent. So this parent pipeline is going to give the list of folders to someone else. So 2 pipelines we need to have it. Pipeline 1 and pipeline 2. Okay, so pipeline 1, PL_parent and PL_child. PL_parent and PL_child. So here we have a folder 1 folder 2, folder 3. All this folder 1, you have to give it to child activity. So child activity, what it is going to do is, it is going to get the list of the files in the folder. Get a list of files from every folder. Okay, so folder 1, folder 2, and so on. Okay, so we have to get a folder from here to here. We have to get a folder from here to here. We have to get it. So how we can get that, I'm going to show you. In order to get the folder from the parent pipeline to child pipeline, you have to create a parameter to get a folder name from parent activity, parent pipeline. I hope you are getting. If I wanted to get this folder 1 from the parent pipeline to child pipeline, in the child pipeline, you have to create a parameter. If you create a parameter, that parameter is going to take the folder from the parent pipeline. So that is what I'm going to do it. So rest of the things you already know it, how we can handle it. Now, in order to pass this value of this to here, we need to call this pipeline. Okay, so to execute a pipeline, to call another pipeline, 2 different pipelines are there. To get the list of the files here, 1 for each activity is there. To get the list of the files, 1 for each activity. Basically, in Data Factory, we cannot have a for each inside for each. In SSIS, if you are aware of SQL Server integration services, there we have a feasibility to keep for each inside for each task inside for each task, or for each activity inside for each. But when it comes to the Data Factory, we don't have a direct option to keep for each inside for each. So because of that reason, we are going to have 2 different pipelines we are going to create it in order to get that. Okay, so I'm going to create a first parent pipeline. The parent pipeline is going to have a for each activity, and child pipeline also is going to have a for each activity. So here inside for each, I'm going to call this pipeline. Okay, so how exactly I'm going to do it? I'm going to do it. We'll see now. Okay, so I'm just going to here, parent. Let me create one more pipeline, a new pipeline, that is a TL underscore child. So I told you the child pipeline should have a parameter. Add a parameter. I wanted to say parent folder. So why I'm saying parent folder is I'm getting a folder from the parent pipeline. So I'm just saying parent folder. Okay. So I can give whatever the naming standard you want to give it. You can give complete pipeline name and give a parameter name. Whatever you feel that you can take it. That's all. Okay, so do not touch anything in the child. Let's go to the parent. So in the parent, first you have to get the list of the files. To get the list of the files, you need to create a data set, right? From where you have to get the list of the folders? From the input directory, I wanted to get the list of the folders in the parent pipeline. So parent pipeline should look into this particular place to get all this list of folders. So we have to create a data set here, new data set, Azure Data Lake Storage into one minute guys. Still getting. Okay. So in the parent pipeline, I'm going to create a data set. a new data set, Azure Data Lake Storage Gen2, continue, delimited. So data set name I'm giving ds underscore data files underscore input. So whatever is there inside the input, I wanted to get it. Let's go here. I'm just going to browse the folder. Only up to input folder, I'm just going to browse. I'm not going to inside. First as we don't need first as a header because we are not dealing with the file. Let's hit OK. Now let's go to parent again. So here I'm going to use the get metadata activity that we know already. We can get it. Let's take a data set called input data set. And what is the field list we need to take? Child items, because we have to get the list of items. We have to get the list of items so that we can get it. Now if I execute this, just if you debug, you can see the output of this is what? Child name is getting folder 1, folder 2, folder 3. All these folders, you have to give it to child pipeline. Okay, so to give it to child pipeline, first of all, you need to iterate each and every folder, right? You need to give each and every item. So to do that, I'm going to use for each activity here. Let's take a for each activity. So for each is expecting. Let's go to the settings. I'm going to take the output of this get metadata activity, that is child items, because we have taken child items for this get metadata. So I'm just taking child items here. Hit OK. Now, if you want to test this, how many times it is executed, you can just keep a wait activity for testing, because there should be at least one activity. So for testing, wherever you want for testing, you can go for wait activity. Let's debug it. 3 times this wait activity is going to be executed. So 3 times because there are 3 files are there, right? So 3 folders are there. Because of that reason, 3 times it is iterated. But instead of executing this wait activity, you have to execute execute pipeline activity. But at this point of time, I'm not going to keep that execute pipeline activity. So let's go to the child activity. In the child pipeline, what you have to do is you have to get the list of the files. Here in the parent pipeline, we are taking a list of folders. In the child pipeline, we are going to have a list of files. So from each and every folder, let's go inside this folder. Here I have a one file is fine. If I have a multiple files, then ultimately you have to go for list of files, right? So I wanted to create a pipeline here. I wanted to create a pipeline with the name child, PL child, and we need to have a data set, right? That data set should point to folder. Okay, folder 1. Let's create a new data set. Azure Data Lake Storage Gen2, delimited, ds underscore data files underscore input underscore folder. So folder may be folder 1, folder 2 or anything. Okay, so I'm just giving folder name. Let's take a link service. This data set is for child pipeline. Input. I'm just taking a folder 1 here. Okay, so I don't need to have a header. You can just uncheck it. You can also uncheck this also. We don't need. But this folder 1 has to get dynamically. Okay, I'll come to this point. Okay, let's go here and say hit OK. And here you have to create a 2 parameters. One parameter is not 2, one parameter is enough. Parameter folder. Let's come to here. I don't need a file name because I'm just looking into up to folder 1 or folder 2 or folder 3. So this one we need to make a dynamic. We know concat of input. Input is common for folder 1, folder 2 and folder 3. Let's comma. And we have to take a folder from this parameter. Hit OK. And if I go to the child pipeline, I'm just trying to use the get metadata activity. Let's take a get metadata. Dataset is input folder name. This folder name should get dynamically. I wanted to take this folder name from the parent folder. We have created a parent folder, right? From the parent folder, I'm taking it. Okay, so if I preview this, if I debug it, it is going to, let me keep child items. Okay, so let me debug it. It is going to ask what is your parent folder. Let's say folder 1 I'm giving. Okay, so this is all testing purpose. Hit OK. I'm not taking the value from the parent pipeline now. Okay, so I'm just checking once this is 100% is working, then that is fine. So you can see here department.txt. And even if I go here again, if I debug it, we can give folder 2. So in folder 2, what files are there? What are the list of files is available? It is going to give it. Now you can see here also we have a department.txt. That is fine. And then I have to give this entire details to for each activity. Let's take a for each activity. Make a connectivity. So I'm going to take the output of this into for each. So same to same child items. Hit OK. Let's go inside for each activity. Here I'm going to keep the copy data activity. So copy data activity is expecting source data set. The source data set I'm going to create. This data set should have to point to the file name. Let's create a one more new data set. Azure Data Lake Storage N2. Continue. Delimited. ds underscore data files underscore input underscore folder name underscore file name. Let's take a link service. Browse it. Data files. Input folder. Folder 1 I'm taking and take a file name. So first as a header, let's make this none, and you can take an import schema. Okay, import it because I'm just going to map it. Let's hit OK. But here this data set should get a folder name dynamically and file name dynamically. So we need to have a two parameters here. Parameter folder and parameter file. Let's go to connection again. So here I'm going to change this. Save at the concat input slash comma folder. Hit OK. At the same time, file name also is going to get dynamically. Item.name. Let's take file here at this point of time. So file name will come from the parameter file and folder is going to get from the P folder that is going to be concatenated with the input for reading. Okay. Let's go back to child. Now source data set is folder. So this one folder name underscore file name is your data set. So it is asking what folder name. So folder name you can take it from the parent folder. From the parameters, just take a parent folder. And pipeline you are going to take it from the current item.name. Current item.name. Hit OK. And sync I'm going to take a data set called I'm going to create a data set to load the data into the SQL Server. Let me hit on new data set. SQL Server. Hit continue. And ds underscore on-prem SQL underscore source, not source, target. Let's take a link service. Oh my God. Okay. I have to create a link service here because that is pointing to the source. Link service underscore on-prem SQL underscore target. So here we have to take a self-hosted integration runtime, ADE. So database is target. Authentication is Windows authentication, ADA/Bhaskar, and provide the password. We know already all this stuff. Hit and create. So I'm going to take the table called department table. Import the schema, hit OK. Let's go to the child. So I'm taking a on-prem SQL target. I'm just taking. It is pointing to the table. You can just go for import the schema. So it is asking from where you have to take it because parameter we have created, right? So all parameters are going to ask you to enter the values. So I'm just taking value here is folder 1 and file name I'm taking department.txt. Let's hit OK. So columns are perfectly alright. That is fine. So just cross verify again. This is getting a folder from the parameter. This is fine. Parent folder. And inside this also, I'm just getting sources having parent folder and item.name. Everything is fine. And so we need to call this pipeline. Let's publish everything. In order to, here you should not execute child pipeline alone. Okay, so I wanted to call this pipeline from the parent pipeline. If I run it, it is going to run for one folder only because when I say run, it is asking a folder name. So when you enter the folder, it is going to read the data from that particular folder only, folder 1. But you have to iterate this folder 1, it has to be executed, folder 2, it has to be executed, and folder 3 also, it has to be executed. So for that, what you have to do is, you have to go to the parent pipeline, go inside for it, and take out this wait activity. I'm going to use activity called execute pipeline activity. Let's take an execute pipeline activity. Go to the settings. Invoke pipeline is child pipeline. When the moment I take a child pipeline, to run the child pipeline, we require parameter, right? That we have seen it. When I try to run this debug, it is asking a folder name. So even in the parent pipeline also, when I take it, automatically it is asking what is the name of the parent folder. What is the value of the parent folder? So you cannot pass a value here. You have to take the folder from the items. Item.name. So why item.name? If you go here, your item.name. Get metadata is see here. Item.name is giving a folder 1, then folder 2, then folder 3, and so on. Okay, let's publish again. So do carefully this. Okay, so otherwise you will get a lot of disturbance here. Even for me yesterday, I was confused. Okay, so don't get confusion. Go with piece by piece so that you will get it. Now I'm just going to close this. Let's debug it. Before debugging, I just wanted to check the data in the target. No data is available in the target. Let's debug it. it has to get 5 records because file in folder 1 2 records, folder 2 2 records, and folder 3 is having 1 record. Now execute pipeline is going for running. One time it is executed. Second time also is executed. Third time it is getting iterated. So inside the execute pipeline, and it is inside child pipeline, we have one more for each activity. Parent is having one for each. Child is also having one for each. Now it is completed. Let's go and see your department table. We can find 5 records in the table because it reads the data from the what you can say, from all the files. Okay, you can have a multiple files. You can try. So just hold one more file in the folder 1. Okay, so with a different name you can keep it, and then load the data into the target. So target is only going to be a single table. So like this we can handle it. Any question from here? Okay, perfect. Okay, so next important topic that I'm going to talk, that is incremental loading. So this is also is very, very, very important. So without asking a question about this, we cannot go for it. So here the question is is it possible to use for each inside for each? So 100% it is possible if we have a 2 pipelines. By using the 2 pipelines, we can have a for each inside for each, but directly we cannot keep for each inside for each. It is not going to allow. But if the business requirement demands to use for each inside for each, that you can do indirectly by having a multiple pipelines. So in that way, you can give the answer to handle it. And then incremental loading. Incremental loading is when you read the data from the database, especially this is going to be happen for the database. First, try to understand incremental loading. It is used to load the data if the data is used to load the data if the data is not loaded based on the date. So that means if it is not loaded in the database, if that particular record is not loaded, it is going to load it based on the date. Okay, so basically if you don't have a date, then it is just going to load all the data. But I don't need to load all the data. Let's say, for example, I'm taking the data from the database into your Azure Data Lake Storage Gen 2. If I'm having a query here to read the data from the table or from tables, every day it is going to do full load. Okay, so it is going to load full load. I don't need to go for that. I wanted to load the data only if that record is not loaded in the target based on the date. So that is what I'm saying. It is used to load the data if the data is not loaded based on the date. So how we can do it, we'll see it. So we have to load only the latest data from the data source. So till yesterday, you just loaded whatever the data is having, and whatever the data is available after last load, that records only I wanted to load it. So if we don't load after last load, then you have to load all the data. So that is going to take longer time when you go for full loading. So if record is already loaded, then we don't need to load it. So if we load already up to yesterday, whatever the transactions are there, if we load it, if they are loaded, then we don't need to load them again. We can load the data only if they are not loaded. So in order to handle that, we are going to have a watermark date. So we have to keep watermark date in the configuration table to hold the latest date, to hold last loaded date. So I mean to say here, how do you know till what date you loaded the data? How do you know till what date you loaded the data? So that details you have to keep inside the configuration table. Okay, so we are going to see practically all those things. When you run the pipeline first time, then load all the data till today. So you're loading first time. So when you load very first time, you have to load all the data. Okay, so and after loading that, make sure to load the data, make sure to update your watermark date with latest date from the source. Okay, so how we can do this point? When you do practically, then you can understand this point. When you load second time on the when you load the second time onwards, then make sure to get the last loaded date. I have to say it is a last loaded date from the configuration table. And then apply filter on the source. And if the record is greater than that particular last loaded date, those records only we are going to load it. So just understand this diagram so that we can understand these 3 points. First, what you have to do is, we need to have a configuration table. So what is there inside the configuration table? Let me go and check, is there a configuration table or not? Basically, configuration table, we used to keep it in the target side. Because source database, we are not going to have a full control. So we are going to have a control on the target side. Okay, so just observe here. I have a source database and target database. The target database I'm going to take as a stage database. Any name you can take it. Okay, so you can take a target database also. Since I'm already having all the 3 folders data is going to store in the department table, guys. Okay, so I'm just going to change this. Let me take this database name since I'm already having a connector. Let me create a configuration table here. Creating config table to have watermark it. To have a watermark it, I'm just going to have this. Give me a moment. Somewhere I just have all the script. I found that. Okay, so I'm just going to create a table in the source with the name employee table. I'm already having employee table. Let me refresh this. I'm just going to rename the existed table. I need this table data. So for that reason, I'm just going to say this underscore old. So in the source database, I'm going to create a table. So I'm checking a table. If table is existed, then drop the table. If not existed, create a table. I'll share all the script to you. You can execute it. So now I don't have a data in the employee table. Select star from table name. No data is available. So here I have a last updated date. Employee number, employee name, salary. Along with that, I have a last updated date is available. I'm just feeding a few records here. Let me keep only one record and just feeding inside the table for practicing. In real time, we are not going to feed. So I'm just giving yesterday date here. Now one record is available in the source. That is fine. So in the same way, you have to create one more table in the target table. So I'm going to say you need to load the data into the target database. So let's go to target database, a new query. So same table, I'm just creating it. Same to same. There is no change in the table. Table structure is same. I'm just trying to create this. No data is going to be available here. So I wanted to feed the data from the source to target. The target table is same employee table, and your source, this record has to come and store the data to here. Okay, so that is what I wanted to do. And then we need to have a configuration table also. So I'm just going to have a configuration table. I'm just creating. So in the target database, I'm going to create it. So why I'm going to create in the target databases? Well, you will be having full control on our database. But source database is your underlying data sources. We don't have any control. We don't have a permissions to create anything, or we don't have a permissions to modify anything in the source. So target is your target is your environment. So you will be having full control on it. So because of that reason, I'm just going to take this. Okay, so table, I'm just taking configuration table as serial number, table name, data source, and last update, last loaded date. So what is the last loaded date? I'm just going to create it. Now, if you see here, I don't have a data in the config table. So for which table you are applying integration, incremental loading, those details we need to have it. So some people, they may take a table name, or they may take as a job name also. Okay, so they can have any kind of things. Okay, so any naming standard, they can take it. But when you get a requirement, you can fill what you can keep it. And then I wanted to apply incremental loading for two different tables. I'm just going to do it. Just imagine. I'm just feeding this data into configuration table. Feeding data into configuration table. So table name is employee. Database name is data source means database. That is source. So basically when you load first time, we are going to have either it is going to be null, or you can give 0101 1900 or 1900 0101, you can keep it. So what happens is it is going to be, it is not loaded. It is, this is very starting. Okay, so greater than this date, I wanted to load it. Whatever the transaction data is available in the table, if it is greater than this date, then I wanted to load it. So I'm just feeding these two records. Now, if you see the data for these two tables, you can see two records. So this is on the different database it is. Okay, so but I need only, I'm applying for incremental loading for this employee table. Okay, you have to take the data, you have to take these details, and first time loading, once you complete your load, you have to update this last loaded date. You have to update this last loaded date, then only can get the data. So in order to get it, we can apply the filter, right? If I select star from table name, it's going to give the loaded date. 2 dates are giving, but I need only one. So I'm applying for only first record. You can go with where serial number equals to 1, or you can go with this filters. Anything is fine. You need to have a single row only. You have to get single row only. That is fine. And I'll come back to here. First, I wanted to write. Okay, let's go and create a pipeline. Okay, I'll tell you how we can handle it. So in the source, this is a target and this is a source. And source is having one record. I wanted to get this record. I want to get this record. To get this record means my date, last updated date in the table is greater than this date. In the configuration, where is configuration? Oh my God, did I create in the source database? Okay. I should not create in the source database. Unfortunately, I created it. I'll do one thing. Let's take a cut this. Create in the target, not in the source. Okay, I'm just re-executing this stuff in the target. Create this configuration table. No data is available. I'm just going to execute this stuff. You can see 2 records. If I execute this statement, you are going to have a single record. Okay, so let's come to this diagram. I wanted to get the configuration details. So last updated date, I wanted to take it. If I have a last updated date, I'm going to give this last updated date to the source. If any source record is greater than my last loaded date, those details I wanted to get from the data source. So in order to get it, we are going to use the activity called lookup activity. We already know about lookup activity. So to get the last loaded date, we are going to use the lookup activity. Let's go and create one data set for source and another data set for target. Only 2 data sets we are going to create for this. Okay, so let's go to Data Factory. In the Data Factory, I'm already having target data set. So I wanted to create a source data set. A SQL Server. DS underscore on-prem SQL underscore source. Let's take a link services source. So 2 link services are required. One is for source and other is for target. So here I don't need to give any table. You just give it last test like this. Just hit OK. And go and create a pipeline. Create a new pipeline. Pipeline is pipeline underscore incremental loading. So first is you have to take a last loaded date. Last loaded, lookup 1. I'm just going as per the diagram. You can see lookup 1 is getting, this one is used to get the last loaded date. How we can get the last loaded date? If you execute this query, are you getting last loaded date or not? Only one row, single row is getting. So let's take this copy of this code, go to your Data Factory and give a data set. So from where is your configuration table? Configuration table is available in the target. Let's take it from the target. Keep the first row only because it is returning one row. Take a query here and paste a SQL code. So it's a fixed one. Okay, because we are giving it to for this particular table only. So it is going to give a date, a single value will be here. Let it execute. So you can see there is a 1900-0101. Let's close this. And second lookup also we are going to take it. Why second lookup is going to take is, the maximum date from the source, we are going to take it. Maximum date, we are going to take it from the source. Okay, so maximum date, how we can take maximum date is, this is the query. If I execute in the source side, we are going to get maximum last updated date. Maximum last updated date is going to get it. So I wanted to feed one more record in the source table. Let me take this record also here. Now two records are there. So now max record, what is the max record? It is going to give it. So max date will be given. Okay. So now it will go for -2. Okay, so 2 days it is going back. Now 2024-04-04 it is. This is the maximum date. Okay. And this is the latest date. Okay, so here it is going to be the latest date. That is fine. If I execute this statement, you can see here, this is one date and this is one date. So out of this two, what is the max last updated date? Max value from this. This is the one. Okay. So from here, you have to read the data. From this date, from this particular date, you have to read the data. That is fine. So let's get the max date. Go here. Take a one more lookup. That is second lookup. Lookup 2. Lookup 2 is going to take the max date from the source. Let's take a source connection. Take a query here and execute it. So here it is going to give max date. This is the max date. Okay. So whatever the data is there between these two dates, this is a last updated date. What is the value for this here? 1900-01-01, it is going to get it. Between greater than this date and less than or equal to this date. Less than or equal to this date is going to be your last loaded. Latest records is going to get it. Okay. So you're going to have a condition like this. So first is last updated date is greater than, here I'm just going to say 1900 01 hyphen 01 hyphen 01 something like this. Okay, so you are going to get this. If I execute this particular date here, you are having it right. I'm just taking a copy of this. Let's keep it here. Same to same it is here. So this is better. So greater than this particular date and less than or equal to max date, we got it right here from the source. If I execute this value, you're getting a maximum date. So take a copy of this and paste it here. So whatever the data is there between these two dates, that is the latest data. So two records are there here. Okay, so in this particular style, you have to write a SQL code in the Data Factory. So in order to do this, what we are going to do is, we are going to use this. Up to here it is same. Okay, so let me go here. Let's take a copy data activity. On success of this and on success of this. So if both are executed successfully, then only it is going to execute this. So here I'm going to keep a source data set. Source data set is on source and we have to write a SQL code. When you write a SQL code, this is the code that you need to keep in mind. So this value you have to get from the lookup one activity, right? So lookup one is having last updated date. This is having max date. Okay, so lookup one date will come to here. Lookup two date is going to come here. Okay, so lookup one output. How we can get this output here? Lookup one first row. We are going to get, and what is the name of the column? The column name is last updated date. You can take a column name from here. This one. This is, you are going to get it. Let's take a cut here. So you need to write, take out this, at, open and close this parenthesis. And this is a flower braces, and paste your lookup output, lookup activity output. So I have to take out inside, and that is how I'm having here. In the single code, it is there. This entire thing, we have a single code, right? Let me keep a single code here. Because we have it in a single code. Okay, and in the same way here also I'm going to do the same thing. Single quote inside this at and two braces, and keep the lookup to activity output. Lookup to activity output is, I'm just going to paste as, let me take a copy of this up to here and paste it. And here I'm just going to say 2, and this column is going to be changed, right? Max date. So max date, you're going to get this one. And this column name is this, so you can keep it here. So this is how it is going to get it. So if you have a doubt, you just go to the pipeline, look up to first row. You're going to get it, and column name, whatever the column name you're having, you're going to take it. So this is the query that we are going to take a copy of this, and finally I'm just going to paste the code here. So when I try to preview the data, it is asking last loaded date and max last updated date. So in the query, I'm just going to pass these values. How many records it is going to show you? You just observe. Here I'm passing this date, and here I'm passing this date. Let's hit OK. It has to show 2 records. Now 2 records it is showing perfectly, alright. So you can verify this query is working or not. And this data has to be loaded into the target. The target is on-prem target. Okay, I need to have one target. I have used it. Okay, I'll do one thing. For target, I need to have a data set, right? Let me open this data set. I'm just keeping a table called employee table in the target. But you can use it for query also here. When you go here in the lookup to lookup 1, you can preview still, even if it is pointing to the table, that is fine. It's going to be executed, it's going to get the latest date. I'm going to say last loaded date. So here I have given a target. Our target table is employee table, and cross verify is column mappings are perfectly alright. So again, you have to pass this dates already there. Hit OK. Okay, so column names are perfectly alright. So once you loaded this data between these 2 dates, I have to load the data between the max date and last loaded date. So after loading, we have to update this configuration table. In order to update configuration table, you need to create a stored procedure. Okay, so you need to create a stored procedure. We already know how we can create a stored procedure. Somewhere I have kept it. Yeah, here it is. Let me take this. Stored procedure also I'm going to create in the target side because you will be having controller. So create procedure name is usp underscore update config. I have to take a table name, I have to take a data source, and I have to take a last loaded date. So last loaded date also I need to take it from the data factory. So all these three values are going to get from the data factory, and it's update statement only, update configuration table, set last loaded date is equals to this date, where table name you are going to give this table name and data source equals to this data source. I think it may be available. No. So stored procedure also is created. So I'm going to call the stored procedure from the data factory. After completion of this, use the stored procedure activity. Let's go here, settings. We already come across the stored procedure activity to feed the logs. In the same way, here also, we can also update the configuration details. Let's take a target. So target is having update config stored procedure and import parameters. Data source is, it's a fixed value. I wanted to say it is source is the name of the database, and table name last loaded is, I'm going to take let me take a function. UTC now, yeah, it is available. Hit OK. So I'm just taking UTC now, and table name is employee. They are fixed values. Okay, so now we are going to call this, we are going to execute this process, this pipeline, so that it is going to read the data from the data source with 2 records. So when you load first time, it is going to load only 2 records because we are having only 2 records in the data source. So target is not having any data. So target table is employee table. No data is available. Let's debug. So first time it is going to read only 2 records. So they're in queue. It should not take that much time. Let me cancel this. Let's debug again. Let's close and reopen it. Good. Yeah, it is started. So 2 are completed. On completion of this 2, your copy data is getting executed. Copy data is completed. Then it is going to update the log table by calling this store procedure. Previously in configuration table, there is a 1900 Once the store procedure is executed, you can see the max state value. If I go and see the target table, you have a 2 records. In the same way, in configuration table, if I execute this, for employee table, it is having last, it's a max date from the employee table is getting updated here. Okay, and if I feed one more record in the source, I'm just going to feed where is this? Let me feed one more value in the source database. Let's execute this. So if I have this, if I have a from this date, I'm just going to take a max date. Let's take this date into this place, right? So this is date from the configuration table, and you have to take a maximum date from here and paste this code here. How many records it is going to get between these 2 days? Only 1 record. You don't need to load the previous record. The newest record is employee number 3, name is Siri, salary and date. Okay, so you can take, it is going to read only the latest record because they were loaded. Previous records are already loaded, so it is going to take this. So now if I run this pipeline, it is going to feed only 1 record. Okay, so if we see here the output of this, how many records? The rows read is 2 and rows written is 2. Now I'm just going to rerun this pipeline. So it is going to load only 1 record. Now if you go and see your copy data here, just hit on this doubles. Now you can see rows read is 1, rows written is 1. Okay, only 1 record is getting. But basically in the data source, you are having 3 records. Right, in employee, select star from employee table, we are having 3 records, but 3 records are not getting. It is taking only 2 records only. Okay, so because we handled with the incremental loading. Okay, so I'm stopping here. If you have any question, you can ask me. Unmute yourself. Any question?
Saya mau question, sir.
Yeah, well.
in the, like, what the same process what we are doing here in incremental load. The same thing, so we are going to, is a server name as well, right? What load the incremental load. So how they maintain in the PDF side, like, suppose we have a like Debian environment, so data in the Debian environment. So if I want to move the data from stage or production in the dynamically, like, so that is also going take care by configuration tables, or is there any?
Can you repeat again? Some disturbance is coming. Can you repeat your question again?
Now it clear, sir. My voice is clear. Right?
Yeah, clear.
Okay, so in the dynamical side, like, suppose I have environment 1, so environment 2, instead of one environment, right now we are seeing in the AD environment, right? Suppose
Okay.
you load the data from development to the AD environment to some other environment. So there also the configuration table will be maintained.
We have to maintain configuration in all the places.
Okay.
In the
So,
dev, QA, and production, in all the places, you need to have a configuration table set up.
okay, and you taught me that watermark. So that is the name of that configuration table, like watermark date.
Config table. Basically, they're just giving a naming standard. Watermark. Okay, so watermark date here in this particular places. Where is the configuration table? Here, watermark date is last loaded date is the watermark date. Okay, because we are keeping last loaded date in this particular place only.
And also, subsequent classes are going to configure jobs in the ADF as well.
Which jobs you're saying?
Like suppose automate this process.
We are going to see.
Okay, and also during the first class, I had Parquet file, converting the data from Parquet formats. That is also going to take care in the upcoming classes, right?
Parquet files, loading data into Parquet file format, you're saying?
Yeah, that is one. Yeah.
We are going to see.
Okay, fine, sir. Yeah,
we are going to come across it. So in the next session, we are going to start talking about the data flow. Okay, so tomorrow, if you have a doubts, you can ask all the doubts, whatever we have from the beginning. Okay, so from Monday, I'm going to start a new concept, that is data flow in the data factory. Okay, so there is a data flow activity. If you remember here, there is a data flow. So till now, we are just dumping the data. Okay, we are not saving the data. If you want to save the data, then we are going to use the data flow. So what is this data flow? How we can have the data in the data flow? We are going to say various transformations are available in order to save the data. Okay. So on Monday, I'm going to start this particular concept, but tomorrow I'm just going to connect for taking a doubts if you have a doubts. If you don't have a doubts, yeah, tell me.
Hello, hi sir. I have a question. Like when I am running a pipeline, like I think in lookup activity, like I have some issue. Like we have just.
They want to share your screen?
Yeah. If we use this condition, right? Sorry.
One minute. I'm just giving it. Yes, sir. And if anyone have a doubt, you can clear it otherwise.
Yeah, like in this condition, like we put this like output dot first row dot cnt, right? Like when I am running this, like cnt is not exist in this. Like it is coming like that.
Okay. It okay? Go to your lookup. Lookup to, okay, because you are taking it from the lookup to, right? Go inside for it. Take a settings. You have it, right? Open it.
Yeah, when I'm running, like here it is showing the data, but
hold on. Concat. Okay, so table underscore name, that is fine. Let's go to your if condition activity. Where is your if condition? If condition, go back, one time back. Now select if condition. Lookup to dot first two dot CFG. Your lookup two is getting executed.
Yeah, that's like when I'm testing the value, then it is showing the count.
Okay, so just hit okay. Run this pipeline. I'll see. Okay, so before if condition. Okay, so is lookup. I wanted to say your lookup to go inside. Not here. In the output itself. Not from here. Go outside. Come to the bottom. No. Just select outside. So here in the bottom, just scroll down. Here lookup to output. Just can you show me? Open it. See here you have a column name is count customer. Okay, you have to take that. Take a copy of that count customer. No. Just take a name of it. Just unlink it. Okay, take a copy of this. Control C. Go to your if condition. Paste it. No. You can see here settings. Select a lookup to settings. Go inside this. You are having a CNT here. How you are getting as customer count? It's strange. From where did you get? Can you go outside of lookup? Outside also you have one lookup, right? What is that lookup?
This is like for setting the table.
Okay, so this is okay. Go go inside that. Lookup to. Can you private? Give a table name, it okay? Count employee. From where? Okay, so I think there is a one problem. Go to the query. I'll tell you. There is no space if I am correct there. Go there. Okay, so give a space after CNT. No. Inside text. Inside single quote.
Okay.
Yeah. There, just see this. Now you just try. Okay, so if you preview now. Hit more. What is that error? Again, there is a. Can you go to there? SQL code. From is missing if I am correct. Yeah, keep the from also. Give a space and give a from. Space from. No, there only.
What?
Write a from. From FROM. Space. Now hit OK. Now preview it again.
Yeah, I think this might be the issue.
Okay, perfect. Now it is a count only there. If
Okay.
condition, expression.
Sorry.
It's perfect only. Just run it. Okay, so if anyone is having a doubt, just please connect with laptop for tomorrow session. So I'll take only doubts. Once the doubts is completed, I'll wind up the session.
I have one more issue, like just a second.
What is the issue? So material link you're asking. Okay, so I always recommend to go with the Microsoft help only. Okay, so you can search Azure Data Factory.
Okay, I have one more issue in get metadata activity. Yeah, here it is. Like here we need to put some code, right? This one.
1 minute. I'll come to your screen. Okay, I'm just keeping this in the chat box. If anyone interested, go to the Microsoft help file. That is the best place to get update. Yeah, what is the error?
Here this.
You have to follow the syntax. If you don't follow the syntax, then ultimately you're going to get an error. Go to your notebook, notepad. Hit a, just take out that bracket, one bracket. Why you're having, just take out one. Okay, so just hit an enter before S in a substring.
Hello.
Yeah, just hit on. After concatenate, you're opening a bracket, right? You just hit an enter. After bracket.
After bracket.
Yeah, hit enter. Go one tab. Okay, so here, item name commas. It just take out. There is a 0, right? There is a bracket. Just take out it. Take out it. After char index ending. Ending. Still go forward. Yeah. Hit enter. After underscore comma, you just enter before format. Okay, again hit enter. Next line. No, end. Complete end. Yeah. So then before .csv is there, right? There is a comma. Yes, there. Hit enter. Let's select the last bracket. Now we need to check. Okay, so in the second 12th line ending, just close the bracket. 12th line ending, close the bracket. Give a comma. Oh, yeah, comma is there. In the down it is there. Okay, now select last bracket. No, hold on. It's not, yeah, it is perfect. Let's take a copy. So if you have a confusion, just go with piece by piece. Then only you can avoid the errors.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, anyone having any question? Okay, my link is not for everyone. Huh? 1 minute. Now just take it a link from it. I just kept for everyone. That is a help file from the Microsoft. We can use it for reading. Okay, so I'm stopping here. We'll see you tomorrow.
Okay.